Would you flip your life like a salted fish just to escape this mess? Even if it meant hurting someone innocent to do it? Life had spiraled into chaos for this struggling couple. The woman, once a dedicated cram school teacher, faced a grim turn. A new policy pushing burden reduction had slashed her workload. And with it, the school cruelly cut her salary in half. Exhausted, she stumbled home, collapsing into her husband's arms, tears streaming. Her husband, watching her break, felt a deeper sorrow than she did. Little did she know, he was an astronaut with secrets of his own. He'd been skimping on bribes for his superiors at the space agency. And just like that, they fired him from his unit. How are we supposed to survive now? They wondered aloud. You can't just sit around hoping for miracles to drop from the sky. Please don't tell me you're counting on some magical windfall. Then one day, an old man appeared, rapping sharply on their door. I'm here to help you strike it rich, he declared with a sly grin. The woman snapped. What? Did lightning strike your face to make you this bold? Then maybe tone down the wild promises. She shot back. Undeterred, the old man pulled out a strange, unmarked box. Just press the button on top, he said, his eyes glinting, and you'll get 100 grand, simple as that. To their shock, he opened it, revealing stacks of crisp cash. The woman swallowed hard, her throat dry with temptation. But then the old man's voice darkened. There's a catch, of course. Press it, and a stranger somewhere in the world will die. This is no game, he warned. The woman froze, torn, while the old man leaned back, patient. Here's 100 as a deposit, he said, tossing bills on the table. Think it over for a day. If you say no, I'll take it back and offer it to someone braver. Someone who's willing to roll the dice. The woman's mind raced. Money was all she could see. That night, she spilled everything to her husband. He smirked. You're actually buying this nonsense. It's like those scams claiming you'll earn $100 just for signing up a friend. Next thing you know, you're texting every classmate you've ignored for a decade. They dangle one last prize to keep you hooked. You'd even dig up your grandma's ghost for that final referral. Forget $1 million, I'd settle for a measly 100. But seriously. He paused. Where'd this cash even come from? The old man left 100 as a teaser, she replied. Okay, now I'm intrigued, he admitted. But it's still nuts. How does pushing a button kill someone? Where's the logic? There's got to be some trick inside. Maybe a hidden mechanism? Curious, the husband pried open the box. But inside? Nothing, just an empty shell. That's bizarre, he muttered. How could pressing this kill anyone? The couple sat, conflicted, staring at the device. Part of them dismissed it as a hoax. Yet another part whispered, what if it's real? Press it. And if someone dies, the guilt would crush us. But if we don't, we're stuck in this pit forever. Poverty's our prison, how do we break free? When will we flip our lives like salted fish? Imagine you're at rock bottom, and someone hands you a button. Press it, and $1 million is yours instantly. But the cost? An innocent stranger's life. What would you do? It's a brutal choice, no matter how you slice it. The couple wrestled with it, debating late into the night. In the end, they chose to press the button. Their consciences buckled under the weight of desperation. And sure enough, a tragedy struck far away. A man unhinged shot his wife in cold blood, leaving their young daughter alone, sobbing in the wreckage. Soon after, the old man returned, his shadow looming. He dropped a sleek black suitcase at their feet. Inside, $1 million in cold, hard cash. The couple stared, horrified at what they'd unleashed. Regret clawed at them. Could they undo it? What? You think this is a text you can unsend? There's no Ctrl+Z for murder, he said bitterly. The husband grew paranoid. What if the old man's the killer? We take the money, and he pins it on us. He scribbled down the old man's license plate in a panic, then sent a friend to the police station to dig deeper. But the old man's identity? A locked vault, no trace. Defeated, the couple abandoned their search. Someone's already dead, they reasoned. We can't waste the money. The woman, crippled by chronic foot pain, had always winced with every step. Now, her husband splurged on a top-tier prosthetic leg. Their lives began to glitter with newfound luxury. Gone were the days of slurping cheap ramen. Now they dined at lavish hotels every night. Guilt faded fast, drowned out by the shimmer of wealth. Until one fateful evening, they attended a swanky gala, rubbing elbows with the elite. The host announced a surprise lottery. The husband reached in and pulled out a blind box. Inside was a faded photo of a young man eerily familiar. His blood ran cold. It was the old man, decades younger, a pioneer astronaut, one of the first to set foot on Mars. But the records claimed he'd died years ago. How was he still alive? The husband stormed to NASA, demanding answers. What he uncovered chilled him to the bone. The old man had been struck by lightning on a mission of bolt at 28,000 degrees, searing half his face away. They'd carted him to the morgue, presumed dead. But in the dead of night, he'd risen, alive. Stranger still, he'd emerged with unnatural powers. Rumors swirled of secret talks with Martians. Could he be an alien pawn, sent to doom Earth? Dread gnawed at the husband as he clutched the old man's file. He raced to the library for more clues, but shadowy figures trailed him, silent and eerie. They cornered him in the library's grand lobby. A crowd of strange faces closed in, their eyes locked on him, unblinking. An administrator stepped forward, calm and cold. This is a test from Martian civilization, he intoned. 3 water gates stand before you. Choose one, he commanded. Pick wrong, and you're dead. Sweat beaded on his brow as he eyed the gates. He steeled himself and chose the second door. The moment his fingers brushed it, a force yanked him inside, swallowing him whole. Back home, the woman jolted awake from a nightmare. Her husband hung mid-air, dripping wet. Water streamed from his body, defying gravity. Then, with a crash, the torrent collapsed, flooding their room in an icy deluge. They stood drenched, trembling in disbelief. What kind of sorcery was this? The ordeal left them shaken to their core. After the Watergate horror, they swore off meddling with the old man's mysteries. Never again would they tempt that dark fate. But the nightmare clung to them like a shadow. One day, at a formal reception, a burly man seized the husband in a chokehold. It was the same killer who'd shot his wife. He pressed the button too, the man growled. And here's the kicker, everyone who presses it loses their family in the end. Let's team up and take down that old bastard. Before he could finish, chaos erupted. A figure in a Santa Claus suit appeared out of nowhere. Then a truck barreled through, horn blaring. It smashed into the fat man, killing him instantly. The husband dove aside, narrowly escaping death. He staggered home, heart pounding. There, the old man waited, his gaze icy. I've got bad news, he said flatly. Your son's locked upstairs blind now. He laid out two grim choices. First, ignore your son's fate and keep your million to yourselves. Second, you kill your wife and your son's sight returns plus the million goes to him. The husband rejected both, fury rising. He drew a gun, aiming it at the old man's chest. I'll end this evil myself, he roared. But the old man didn't flinch. You planted this curse, he said coolly. Killing me won't undo your choices. The couple bolted upstairs, frantic. Their son's cries pierced the silence. They grasped the old man's terrifying power. Escape was impossible, they were trapped. The husband sobbed, guilt crashing over him. I traded a stranger's life for cash, but now it's my own flesh and blood. He'd gambled everything and lost. The woman stepped forward, resolute. I'll die, she said, voice steady. This is my fault, my greed. As a mother, I just want him safe. She braced herself for the end. A single gunshot rang out. The husband fired, tears blinding him. His wife crumpled, her sacrifice complete. In that same moment, another couple, miles away, pressed their own button. The cycle spun on. This wasn't about magic or Martian tricks. It was about the human heart, greed, guilt, and the choices we make. And so ends the magic box. We preach equality in life, don't we? But it's a question with no easy answer. When you're drowning in despair, would you climb over someone else to breathe? When you're on top, do you even see the ants below? A loved one's pain cuts deep, we'd kill to protect them in a heartbeat. But a stranger's suffering? We shrug and turn away. Maybe retribution is the only equalizer. Ignore the cries for help today, and tomorrow, you'll scream into the void alone. When conscience picks favorites near or far, that's when life's true balance reveals itself. So what would you do with that button? Food for thought until next time. Thanks for joining Popcorn's Movie Breakdowns, where every story races your pulse. See you tomorrow for another wild ride. Stay curious, folks, and keep questioning the shadows.